we are live. Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Selfridge. I am back. It's Sunday, and it's time for our usual live stream. And those of you who are regular viewers and participators in our live stream, you will know that I've been gone for a couple of weeks. It's been a whole bunch of series of, things happening that we weren't able to have the show. So it started, I think, you might hear it in my voice, by the way. We'll get to that. That I'm still a little bit, I still sound a little bit stuffy from a little bit of a cold I had. But going back, boy, I think it's been, okay, I should have sound. So you guys tell me if I don't have sound, okay? Because I pressed the little button here that says my sound should be on. So everybody just do me a favor. Let me know if there's any issue with that. But yeah, give me the thumbs up if my sound is okay. We have some questions coming in, which is great. And I'm going to get back to explaining what... okay, good. So we say the sound is good. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. So getting back to me not being here for a couple weeks, I apologize for that. Going back to, I think, Labor Day weekend, I was busy just because it was Labor Day weekend. And then I think it was the following Sunday that I came down with a pretty bad cold, which knocked me out. I still wasn't feeling great a week later. I wasn't feeling very good at all, actually. I was feeling okay, but I just had all kinds of sniffly things happening, so I didn't want to be on air last week. And now I'm back. You can probably hear I'm still a little bit congested. So super excited to be back, everybody. It's been a very busy beginning to the school year for me. We've been very busy with marching band and concert band and all the different things. We started our music theory class. I'm teaching AP Music Theory, which is a lot of fun. If you guys have any music theory questions, you can ask me. We have some instrument questions coming in. So I'm going to dive right in. If you are new to the channel, this is the time of year where I get a lot of new students discovering my channel because, of course, it's a lot of people starting up with band lessons for the first time. So if you are brand new, thank you for joining us, and make sure you please subscribe and also say hello in the chat. I always like to know a little bit about you, maybe like what instrument you play if you're asking an instrument question, and also, a little bit about your experience, how long you've been playing. It's also nice to know where people are watching from, what part of the world you're in. Some people are in the U.S., some people are on the opposite side of the U.S. I'm in Pennsylvania in the Philadelphia region on the East Coast. Some of you are all over the U.S., some of you are in different parts of the world. That's always kind of fun to hear about. So let's go right into a couple of questions. And of course, we always have requests that I will do as well. I'll play some songs for you, try to figure out a song that you would like me to try to figure out for you. But let's start with, we have some requests. Our good friend Pug Channel is in right away with a request, and we will get to that request. I want to do some questions first. We're going to say hello to Mike, who's a good friend of ours who's here just about every week. And then our good friend Mia Ann is here. Hi, Mia. Good to see you. And Mike has a request of Billy Joel, so we will get to that. Matthew Cialetti is watching, or Cialetti. I think you corrected me one time, Matthew Cialetti. I like to pronounce people's names correctly as much as I can. And Matthew is saying happy live stream Sunday. Happy live stream Sunday to you. Leonardo, a good friend of ours, is here and is just saying welcome back to everybody. And Matthew is letting us know that Matthew is currently a sophomore at Monmouth University. Where is that, Matthew? I probably should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. And Matthew, are you pursuing music or are you doing a different major? I'm curious to know about that. And okay, here's a question right off the bat. Diverse edits, and looks like maybe a new person on our show today. So welcome to the show and welcome to the channel to Diverse Edits. How do you slur on the flute? Okay, we actually were just talking about this in my music theory class the other day. We were going over some basics of what's called articulation. Articulation is the way that musicians connect or separate their notes or put maybe any particular type of accent or how long or short the note is. So there's one type of articulation called a slur. On a wind instrument, Okay, string instruments are different. On a wind instrument, any instrument that you use your air to make the sound, a slur is when you have two different pitches. So I'm going to pick two different pitches on the flute. I'm going to take a D note and an F note. I actually just slurred just then. I'll play them each. The normal way to start off playing every note on a wind instrument is you're supposed to start every note with a T sound of your tongue going to, like that. So I'm going to do the normal way, the default, which is to go to with my tongue starting the sound. D, F. Ta, ta, or your teacher might like you to say do, do. There's different syllables you can use to get the right type of sound that you want. A slur, if we had those two notes, D, F, and now instead of just the basic notes, we had a curvy line kind of connecting the D up to the F. Actually, I guess it would be this way. No, for you it would be this way. D up to F. What that means is you play the D the normal way. You start it with the tongue, but then when you go to the F, when you move your fingers, you just move your fingers to the F. You don't do anything different with your tongue or your air. Your air just goes and your tongue doesn't move. So it's like going ta or ta. I'll sing it, makes it easier. Ta. So my sound changed. Your fingers are going to move, but you only tongue the first note. Okay? And if you have multiple notes, you don't tongue any of the notes that are contained within the curved slur marking. So let me show you. Here is D, F with both notes tongued like they should be normally. And then a slur, I'm going to tongue the D and just move my fingers into the F note. Did you hear that? So the only thing that changed was the pitch moving from D to F, and we had no separation of the sound. It's the same for any wind instrument. On trumpet, tongue the first note and just move your fingers to the second note. Same thing for saxophone, clarinet, any instrument that you use air for. So that is how you do a slur. Now, that was a great question. Let's move into, by the way, in the chat, or on our show today, we have Teresa and Joseph who are helping us out in the chat room as always. And our friend Dennis is not here today. I think he's off seeing a show, a play somewhere. As some of you who watch our show, know that Dennis is very much into the theater, very active in the theater, and I think he went to see a play today. So anyway, here we are. Let's do another question, and then maybe I'll play a song. Okay, Rory wants to know, is the saxophone louder than the trumpet? So the answer is, I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to say basically no, but also it depends. So any instrument has a dynamic range. Dynamics is the word that we use to describe the loudness or the softness of the note. So every instrument has a range of the softest it can possibly play to the loudest it can possibly play. And quick side note, whenever we're talking about playing an instrument as loud as possible, when we're playing music, we always want to have a little asterisk or a caveat. When we say play as loud as possible, we never want to push our sound louder, so loud that it distorts the tone quality and it makes a bad or unpleasant sound. So we want to work on playing our notes as full and strong as possible for dynamic range, but not going over the cliff. I tell my students, don't go over the cliff into bad or unpleasant tone quality. Okay, so that being said, I would say a trumpet being played at its loudest, fullest volume with a good sound is going to be louder and have more projection than a saxophone being played at its loudest, most fortissimo level. So I'm going to say trumpet in general, we would say, is louder than a saxophone. But a good musician, whether they're a trumpet player or a sax player, could adjust their breath support and the way they play their note so that a trumpet could definitely play a soft note, and maybe a saxophone could choose to play a louder note. But if they're both at their max, I'm going to say a trumpet is going to be louder than a saxophone. Okay, Let's see. A few more comments and questions, then maybe I'll play something for everyone. Mike says, oh, wife and I had it too. Last about 3 weeks. Okay, so thankfully, Mike, mine was, the worst of it was over, honestly. My cold. We're talking about the cold I had, everybody, if you're just getting here. The worst of it was over within like 2 days, 2 to 3 days, but it's just kind of like lingering symptoms. And I still sound kind of, you know, whatever you would call it, stuffy, but I feel really good. Okay. Jacqueline, happy oh, wait, there's Mike. Okay. Jacqueline is saying happy Sunday from Philadelphia. Hi, Jacqueline. As I said, I live right near Philadelphia, so it's right. Jacqueline's right here in our hometown. There we go. Saying hello to a bunch of people. Jacqueline's one of our favorite people who's here quite often. All right. Mike says, as far as pronouncing people's names, I also try to get the correct pronunciation for towns and cities. And so Edinburgh. Are you supposed to roll your R's, Mike? Edinburgh. Matthew says, Monmouth is in West Long Branch, New Jersey, studying secondary education and history to become a history teacher. Good for you, Matthew. And I apologize if I forgot. You might have told me that before, but congratulations. That's very exciting. I love being a teacher. I do have some advice. And whenever students, people are thinking about going into teaching, when they ask me for advice, one piece of advice I always give is make sure as early as possible you get out there and you try to get some experience observing and or teaching students at a school to get that experience, because that really helps you. It either confirms that you definitely want to teach. That's a good thing. Or maybe you're maybe not so thrilled with teaching as you thought you might be. And that's a good thing to find out early on in your college. So anyway, let's keep on rocking here. All right, let's do a playing request, okay? Well, here's a question where I can play a little bit. So Mike asked, can I explain a glissando? Yes. So a glissando is when you're moving from a lower note to a higher note, or a lower pitch to a higher pitch, and you want some sort of effect where you're hearing the notes going all the way up between the two notes. But we don't, it usually also goes kind of so fast that you don't really want it to sound like a scale, da 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 da. It's an effect as if the notes are scooping like a slide whistle. You know, a slide whistle goes whoop, like that. So that's the kind of effect that you want for a glissando. Let's do saxophone, because I know Mike is a saxophone player. Okay, so a glissando, I'm going to do a glissando from, I'm going to do a glissando from an E to a B with my octave key. So here's my E, and here's my B. Put my neck strap in here. So a glissando, I'm going to play, it kind of depends. You would look at what key you're in. So I'm going to pretend I'm in the key of G major. So that means I'm going to go from E, step, up to a B, but I'm going to use an F sharp because that's in the key of G major. I'm going to use a G major scale as my sort of foundation. So slowly, that wasn't so slow. I'll do it slower. So that would be a diatonic glissando where I'm just staying on a scale. Here it is in real practice, kind of faster, so it gets that glissando effect. And to get that smoothness, you want to practice it slower. By the way, speaking of the lesson we just talked about slurring, a glissando, you always would definitely slur. You wouldn't tongue it because that would sound real choppy and not so smooth. Like that. So slur. Start on the bottom note. Lift your fingers up. Step, all the way up to the B. And if you practice it, getting it faster and faster, or a shorter amount of time to get from the bottom to the top, that's going to get you a glissando. An instrument like a trombone has a slide. So a trombone can do a completely smooth glissando. So glissando, a trombone is like the perfect instrument for glissando. That's how you do glissando. Okay. More questions. Jay Brooks is checking in. Whoop. Hi, Jay. How are you? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Oh, soccer vids. So soccer vids, I'm going to answer your question. Can you hang tight for just a minute? Okay. I want to go back, though. And I want to get our good friend Pug Channel. He always has these very interesting requests. So I'm going to try to do this. I get all these words correct. Un trandafir. Hopefully auto finish will. Here it is. Let's see if I can find it. And you said it is a, to get the right video, 18 million views. Goodness gracious. So here's one. Here's one with 18 million views. Is it a picture like the video you want? The one I'm looking at, Shrek, has like roses in like a window. Looks like this. Bloop. Oh, that's not it. There it is. Let's see if that's the right one. We'll turn it up. Is this 7? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm guessing this is the right one because you said it's 7.25 minutes long. Okay, so you want me to play this on sax. And let's see what we got here. All right, it's in E minor. So it's going... Wow. Got a lot of ornamentation, we call that. That style of playing where you've got a basic melody, a basic melody, something like that, but there's a lot of ornamentation, which means there's a lot of little diddly-doos, little tiny decorations, like that kind of thing. I'm not even getting close to what it actually is. I'm just kind of giving you an idea. So... you want to learn this, and I hear it's right now it's an accordion playing it. I don't hear a saxophone yet. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of accordion, and then a vocal comes in. Let me see if I can pick this out for you on sax. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit interesting because when I was figuring it out just now on the piano, it's in E minor, and it goes between E minor and the relative major of E minor, which is G major. So we've talked a little bit about this music theory stuff where like every minor key, if you just go up 3 notes in the scale and you play that chord, that's what's called the relative major. So E minor goes nicely with G major. Okay? So let me listen here a little bit. Boot it up. I'm going to teach you that beginning part because that's kind of catchy. I mean, it's all catchy. I'm going to teach you, but the beginning part is kind of easy, actually. I shouldn't say easy. It's straightforward. There's not too much to it. Bum bum ba da da bum bum. So it's the C. I'm just going to talk in alto sax key right now because the piano key is E minor, but I'm now switching the way I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak in alto sax transposed key, which is C sharp minor. Okay, here we go. Bum bum ba da da dum. That's the 1 3 5 of the minor. So C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp. Okay. And then it goes down to a B. B, 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 C sharp. Pretty much like that. I'm going to get a little bit of the melody here, and then we're going to move on, okay? More of the intro. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, that's the high C sharp. So G sharp, B, C sharp up high. I can listen to that again. Oops, I rewound too far. Okay. Okay, so G sharp, B, G sharp, B, C sharp. And then you kind of just go down the scale. B, C sharp, B, C sharp, B, A, G sharp. Okay, so there's a little bit, I know that's not the whole song, but there's a little bit of it. And I want to keep our question and answer thing moving along here, but that's the start of it. So Shrek, I hope you that gives you a good start to try to figure that out. You're going to use basically your E major scale / C sharp minor scale to figure that out. Okay. Let's see, more questions. So Leonardo, can I explain how to play the high B flat 5 ledger lines above the music staff? So that is I'd call that the altissimo B flat on the flute. So, you can always just look for fingering charts, right? You Google it. So there's a lot of great websites. Let me show you this one. Here we go. So Woodwind, WFG, woodwind.org, Woodwind Fingering Guide. Here we go. So this is the 4th octave. This is a really high. So actually we're beyond where you want to be, because this is an octave higher than a C sharp. So we're going to go back one. We're going to go, okay, there's the 1st octave. Continue to 2nd octave. See, I'm looking for the note that you want. All right, we're getting up there. Now this is the B flat, an octave lower than the one you want. 3rd octave. And once you get up into the world, so you guys, actually everybody should know what can learn from this. Once you get, all right, see, look at all those ledger lines, right? So this is the note that Leonardo is asking about. 5 ledger lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on the 5th ledger line. Now look at this. This looks kind of crazy, but look at how many different fingering variations there are. So once you get into the super high range of any instrument, there are going to be some options, because different fingerings are going to give you, depending on your instrument, are going to give you slightly different intonation tendencies. So depending on your instrument and what works best for you, you can try these different fingerings. So look at this. Here's the basic. It's T, meaning thumb. There it is right there. And no fingers on your left hand other than that. And then on your right hand, you get your 1st finger and then this 1st trill key. All right, so this is pretty high. So what I like to do is I play the B flat an octave lower to get it in my ear, or you could play it on piano. Here's a B flat. So now we're going to go an octave higher than that, which means you have to make your aperture really small and focused. And let's do this new fingering where we're going to do just your thumb, no other fingers, and your 1st finger in your right hand, and then this 1st trill key. Let me see if my overhead cam. Cool. Oh, if I could. There we go. Check it out. All right, I'm going to take off that so you can see. All right, so I'm doing the fingering chart, just your thumb, just my thumb, and then on this hand, the right hand, 1st finger, trill key. Okay, here we go. You hear it? It's in there. I gotta really get my embouchure going here. So you can hear all that extra noise that's going on in there. So when you practice your extended altissimo notes, you really want to work on your embouchure and try to get the perfect embouchure where you're getting the note to come out, but you're not having a bunch of the extraneous sound. So that's called practicing your long tones. Cool. Let's keep going. All right. So, okay, here we go. Oh, I promised soccer vids. I hope you're still here. I was going to get back to your question. All right. Why is my why is my clarinet sounding not correct? Okay. There are a multitude of reasons that are possible. I'm going to see if I can find this. There is a little checklist that I put up at the end of every beginner. That's a clarinet checklist. I'm looking for it online so I can show it to you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to download this. So, okay. So I'm getting this ready to show you. It could be so many things. It could be your embouchure. It could be the way you're holding the clarinet. It could be your reed needs to be adjusted or replaced. It could be your fingers are not on the right spot. There could actually be a problem with your clarinet. So let me take you through the checklist here, okay? So we're going to go here, and we're going to go here, and I'm going to take your comment off the screen so we all can see a little bit better. So the checklist says, help, my instrument doesn't sound right, okay? And here's what we have. Number one, is your clarinet assembled properly? So you look at your clarinet, is everything lined up the way it should be? Is your reed lined up correctly at the tip of the mouthpiece? And is it in good condition? All right, that's check one. Then, are you holding the clarinet with proper holding position and proper posture? Are you sitting up tall, or are you kind of hunched down, and that puts your embouchure in the wrong position, that puts your clarinet in the wrong position? And incorrect posture also kind of can mess up your hand position and can cause other problems. Then, are you playing with proper embouchure? So your band face, the way you set your lips and your teeth. Let me come over here. Oh, well, there's a couple different ways you can get it. A lot of people say hui tu. So the hui gets your bottom lip smooth and your cheek muscles engaged here, your corners. And the tu just means you push your lips a little bit forward to seal the mouthpiece. Hui tu. Yu. Smooth chin. If there's all kinds of things you could be doing it correctly with the embouchure that could cause you to not sound like it's the right note. Then continuing on our checklist, okay, are you pressing the correct keys for the note that you're going for? Okay, so if you've gotten through the first 3 checks of our checklist and it still sounds off, it might be that you're pressing the wrong keys. So say you're supposed to be playing a I don't know. Say you're supposed to be playing a C, but your first finger slid out of position and there's air leaking out of that hole that should be covered. That's going to make your C not work. Here's a correct C. Here's your first finger kind of accidentally sliding off. You hear that sound? That's because this tone hole is supposed to be completely sealed up. Okay, so it can be very tricky when you're, I don't know if you're a beginner, but it can be really tricky at the beginner level because there's so many things that could be the problem, and it can be very frustrating. So be patient with yourself, go through the checklist, and then the final thing on the checklist is, look down here, I'm going to zoom in, if the following these steps does not solve the problem, it's possible your instrument might actually have something wrong with it. It might need a repair, or maybe like there's a little bit of a loose key or a loose screw, and your teacher can help you with that. So much, right? So many factors to think about. But that was a great question. Let's continue on here, okay? More questions. Rory says, I would definitely say the saxophone is louder, especially in rock music. Okay, so I see what you mean by that, but when you're talking about rock music, you're talking about microphones. And so any instrument can be as loud as you want it to be if you're playing into a microphone. You can just go like this, right? So I'm taking microphones out of the equation. I'm talking about the actual instrument itself. A saxophone, if you play it with a metal mouthpiece, kind of gets you closer to the trumpet volume, but I would still, I would stick with my original that the trumpet by nature can get louder than a saxophone. But you're correct about rock music for sure. Leonardo says, I've taken music harmony in school. It's helping me to understand the basic of music theory. That's great. Yeah, music theory really helps. Okay, what's more fun, clarinet or flute? Are you trying to decide? Kaushik, are you trying to decide between those two instruments? That's really, I can't tell you because for me, I can't, it's kind of tied for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have a preference between clarinet and flute. Depends on my mood. Some people really love playing the flute, and so for them, the flute's more fun. Some people really love the clarinet. For them, the clarinet's more fun. So both of those instruments are very similar in terms of the type of parts that they get in the ensemble. Flute and clarinet get a lot of melody. Flute, you're probably playing the melody a little bit more than a clarinet. A lot of high, fast notes. If you like playing high, fast, very flurries of brilliant notes, then flute and clarinet are both going to be a good choice for you. Okay, so more requests. Sway on sax by Michael Bublé. We're getting so many great questions, you guys. I'm going to focus on more questions today than requests, but I'll go back and do a request in a minute or two. Jay Brooks says the glissando in Rhapsody in Blue is really fun. Yes, it is. That's okay. So getting back to the glissando thing, it's the fingers, but also in a jazz context, like, Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin was very heavily influenced by the jazz craze that was going on at the time, the birth of jazz in the teens, 20s, 30s, teens and 20s and early 30s of the 20th century, the 1900s. So George Gershwin was bringing jazz styles into a, quote, classical concert hall type thing. So yeah, that was a combination of the fingers going up the scale, but also moving the embouchure to get the jazzy bending of the note. So that's a combination of pulling down the jaw and the reed, and also you might have noticed I was gradually sliding my fingers off of the holes from bottom to top. Very fun little solo there. Okay, Rory wants another one, Bites of Dust. This is an easy one. I'm going to do it really quick. You can do this. This is a fun sort of easy song that I do a lot with beginners, and there's a lot of different keys you can do it in. You could do it. Well, there's 12 different keys you can do it in, but I think the one that we tend to teach it is concert C minor. No. That's the basic idea. So C minor triad on sax, it's E, C, A, da 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 da, C, A, D. Now that's where we usually stop the song with the beginners, but you could keep going with matching what Freddie Mercury sings. Da 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 da. Basically you've got your A minor triad. E, C, A. There you go. Another one bites the dust. And Shrek is saying thank you for doing your that request. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm happy that you're happy, Shrek. Ninja Kid, hello. Hello to Ninja Kid. Ninja Kid was wondering, mask off future, please, radio edit, no matter what instrument. This song goes back a couple of years. Let me do a few more questions, okay? Matthew says, I love the clarinet checklist. That's awesome. Yeah, if you look at my beginner clarinet videos, I use it a lot, Matthew. Okay. Mike says, turn it all the way up to 11. Right. There's a comedy movie from the, is that the 80s? Where they make a joke about turning the amplifier up to 11. Mike Hamilton, yeah, Baker Street starts with a glissando. That's one. So I talk in my music theory class about the difference between what people call perfect pitch, absolute pitch, and relative pitch, and then pitch memory. So pitch memory, a lot of times I can recall a song that's kind of really made an imprint on my memory. If I picture myself playing the song, I can hear it in the correct key. That's not perfect pitch. It's like pitch memory. So I'm not going to try to sing it in the actual octave because I still have a little bit my congestion here. But is that the D? Yeah. So starts off with a glissando. So I'd have to listen to the original to discover when you're doing a glissando. You might start all the way like an octave lower than your target note. You might start a third, like a sixth below your target note. Depends. And I'm not sure on the original recording that saxophone if it starts on the octave below or something else. Okay. Great questions, everybody. Okay, so Mike, I'm going to go back because Mike's a good friend of our show, so I'm definitely going to get Mike's request in here. The sax solo on New York State of Mind. Now, I've played New York State of Mind many times with my friend John Gresha, who's an amazing singer and piano player. We play it many times, and I usually play tenor on the song, and he does it in... well, I think he does it in B flat. I'm not sure what Billy Joel does it in. Yeah, he's not in. This isn't the original. Sounds like it's... Maybe it is. Okay, he's in C major. Here's what I'm watching, by the way. It's not a video, but... Okay. 320 in the song. Let's see. Let's skip to it. I don't know if this is an alto or a tenor. Let's listen. Woo! Oh. It's a tenor. Okay. Okay, all right. That's a tenor sax. So it's in C major for the piano, which means it's D major for the sax. So he starts off, I'm not going to do the whole solo because it again, it's just for time reasons of our live stream. But I can tell you at the beginning of the solo, the soloist is playing basically the melody. So that's the mi solfege, right? D major scale or scale degrees. 3 3 2 1 2 3 3. Here. Okay. And that little intro he's doing is a pentatonic. So major pentatonic is when you take the major scale and you just play 1 2 3 5 6, right? That can, if you get familiar with your major pentatonic scales and minor pentatonic scales, you can get a whole ton of mileage out of those scales if you're soloing in a song like this that's mostly pretty much one scale or one key. There's some different chord changes, but what happens next is it. Okay. So what he's doing there is he's like outlining the chord change that takes you to the B minor, the F sharp 7. Okay, so yeah. Pentatonic. Pentatonic. Uh, a very typical bebop lick. Oh, all right. So if you all follow jazz stuff, memes or whatever, there's this whole thing about the lick. Has anyone heard this thing about the lick quote? It's this short little melodic fragment that has become kind of a cliche in the jazz world because so many people use it in their solo, and now someone made a meme about it, and now it's kind of a joke. So you almost cannot play this little lick anymore without being sort of ironic about it. But anyway, I just heard it right there. It's that's the lick, okay? So he goes. It's like the first half of the lick. Okay, so there you go, Mike. Again, that's not the entire solo, but that's a good portion of it. Animatronic. Oh, Rory says it's a brilliant song. Wait, Rory, what are you? I'm trying to see what you're referring to. But oh, Another One Bites the Dust. Yep. Okay, Leonardo, you got a lot of requests coming in here. Can you pick again, Leonardo? Can you pick like the one that's like the one you want to hear the most, and I will do that one as best I can. Let's see. My favorite etude / solo for clarinet. Wow. I'm going to be honest and say I don't really think I have one, just because I don't know. I don't think of having like a favorite etude. I haven't. So when I did my major in college, I majored in saxophone, and I played clarinet on the side in sort of more of a jazz context. So I didn't really work on a lot of the traditional, like the rosé etudes and all that stuff. Favorite solo for clarinet. Okay, I'm just going to pick one. One of the clarinet solos I did was in the jazz band in my college years, is I played the Harry Carney jazz clarinet solo in this Duke Ellington piece called Rockin' in Rhythm. The melody. Bop, bop, bop. Sorry, I played the rhythm a little bit wrong. Sorry. Yikes. That's it. Bump it up, it up. That's the melody. And then there's a clarinet solo, like an improv type clarinet solo. Cool. Good question. Mason Rogers. Hello, Mason. How are you? I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm doing much better since I am getting over my cold from 2 weeks ago. So I'm feeling pretty good. Moscow 1941 on clarinet or tenor saxophone. So this to me sounds like, is this like a concert band piece? Is this Brian Balmage's? Maybe. Sheet music. I'll do clarinet. Why not? I have it right here. So let's see. So like I said, when we're doing concert band pieces, it's sometimes a little trickier for me to play because they are published pieces that I might not be able to get the sheet music online. Well, here we go. I found it. It is Brian Balmage's. Cool. Here it is, everybody. I'm going to play the clarinet one part. Let's see. And there I am. Andante. So one of the things we talked about in music theory class is how to interpret these markings, like these Italian words you see, andante. It's kind of slow-ish, right? This quarter note equals 70, so 70 beats per minute. That's a little bit faster than the second hand of a clock. So we think like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. That would be like the seconds of a clock. That would be 60 BPM. So now we just go a little bit faster than that. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Maybe that's it. Okay, so here we go. Three measures of rest. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. This is 14. Ready, go. 1, 2. So, I think that's about all I'll play for now, but did you see me kind of doing the dynamics there, right? Piano, crescendo, poco a poco means get a little bit louder, bit by bit. Ritardando, slow down a bit, and then here we are at the forte, forte, powerful, quarter note equals 76, so I took the tempo a little faster there. Cool. All right, so Leonardo is back in here with Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper on flute. All right. I like very specific requests, so I can look for it. Time After Time. Cyndi Lauper. Let's see if I luck out and find sheet music for it. Okay, I found piano sheet music. So here we go. Do my best here. Quick pause. So when it gets down here, when the words come in, the lyrics, this is, as it's written, it's too low for flute. So do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to just transpose it up one octave. And I always do that just to keep things in a comfortable octave. You could do this technically actually technically I could do this on my flute because my flute has a low B, but it's a very uncomfortable range that doesn't really project on the flute. So I'm going to take this up an octave. Here we go. Okay. So that was a very nice song, by the way. The way I played it was okay. As you could probably hear, some of my octaves were kind of breaking a little bit, and that is something. You know how you would work on that? I would probably want to do some warm-ups, working on my octaves, like this. Really getting control, so when you want to keep things in a high octave, you can do that. All right, so we've got about 10 minutes left. Mike says, I'm doing well with the playing, considering I'm still feeling a little stuffy. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, I feel really good. It's just what I sound like at this point. So now, you're welcome, Leonardo. We're at the end of our chat. I have no more chat to answer. Let me go back, and maybe I can find some other things. Okay. Oh, Mia said 2 weeks ago, I missed this one. 2 weeks ago, my teacher played your videos, meaning my videos, how to hold the flute and clarinet. That's cool. Did you tell your teacher that you know me? Or we're friends from the live stream? Let's see. Maybe another request. A lot of requests here. So, how about another one for Leonardo? You know, I did Havana. I did a video for Havana a while back. I don't know if I did one for flute. Havana sheet music. Let's see what happens. There is a piano tutorial. Yes. Yes, I should, Leonardo. Having enough time in the day to do all my practicing is not something that always happens when you're a teacher, but definitely could work on my high notes. Let me go back and do your request here. I lost it. Anyway, I'm gonna do Havana. Let's see. Trumpet sheet music. All right, piano tutorial. Let's see. There it is. Oh, I turned the volume down. Oh, it's in G minor. Cool. So I've talked about this before. Some of these videos, when they have it set up like this, where you can't see the notes that are coming next, the sheet music just kind of flips on the button like that. I have to kind of try to predict what's coming next, which is not always easy. Okay, so folks, we are just about time. Oh, I thought my sound was going out. It's just my headphones were being weird. So, oh, that's what happened. My little headphone plug came out. There we go. So, a couple questions to wrap up this session with, everybody. Mike says, is it easy to play Havana on saxophone? Yeah, it is. It depends on the key. Mike, you play tenor, right? Let me do tenor for you. So if I was going to play Havana on tenor sax, we go back to there was a version here for trumpet. Check it out. Ooh, look at that. And they have the music in there. So I'm going to take it back. You know, on trumpet, you can play along on tenor sax, same key. Nice. Okay, let's go back here. A couple more questions before we go. Oh, Gerald, you had a question in there that was I thought a good question, and then it's gone now. But if you want to type it back in, you're more than welcome to. Trying to remember what it was. Okay, Jay Brooks. I'm looking for a new mouthpiece for my alto sax. Any suggestions for what to look at? Yeah. Two recommend. You know, all right. So number one, for mouthpieces, best thing to do is go to a music store that has a couple in stock and will let you try them. There's some companies like you can order a bunch of mouthpieces to try out and they'll let you send them back. They might charge you like a sanitizing fee because they take them back and they sanitize them and sell them. My favorites to recommend are the Van Doren. Hold on. Alto. I gotta look this up. Alto sax Van Doren mouthpiece. I like Van Doren's. I like Joelee Jazz. Okay, so you got the various Van Dorens you could choose from. Anything Van Doren is going to be good. Some of them are more geared towards jazz. Some of them are more geared towards classical. Some of them are geared to be like a versatile type of mouthpiece. It depends on what you want. And then I like the Joelee Jazz. I play that on tenor. You're welcome, Matthew. Thanks for being here. You're always really great to have in the chat. Best standards to learn that are easy, Mike. Summertime. Autumn Leaves is pretty easy in terms of the chords. Autumn Leaves is a fairly straightforward one. Any like standard blues song is a good one to learn. Let's see. Good questions coming in. Jonathan, does a C note on the B flat clarinet match the pitch of a C chord on the piano? No. So this is a very confusing topic, so don't feel like you're out of the loop on this one. There's a lot of people that find transposing to be confusing, including me sometimes. I've practiced it and explained it many times, so I'm pretty good on it now. But all right, so some instruments are concert pitch instruments that you don't transpose. Flute, same notes as piano. Violin, trombone, bassoon, oboe. There's probably more guitar that aren't coming to mind right now. But then there's transposing instruments. So whenever you have a transposing instrument, what you do is you take the name of the instrument, like trumpet in B. Well, you asked about clarinet. All right, so clarinet in B flat is what it's called. That means when the clarinet player plays what in their mind is a C, what's actually coming out is the name of the instrument, B flat, right? Clarinet in B flat means when the clarinet player thinks they're playing a C and looks at a C on their music, what's actually coming out is a B flat on the piano. So that means anything that you want to match the clarinet to the piano with, you have to tell the clarinet player to play one whole step higher than what's being played on the clarinet. Okay? Hopefully that helps. It's the same for all the other transposing instruments. Alto sax in E flat, trumpet in B flat, E flat clarinet, French horn in F, horn in F. Okay, so we are at the end of our show. Couple more things here. Amkal, I just want to know, how can we learn all concert scales in this channel? Flute player, especially Indian bamboo. I play a couple of folk wind instruments. Okay, so that's a good thing that I should work towards on my channel. I don't have all the scales on every instrument yet on my channel. I have a bunch for clarinet and sax. Actually, I don't have any scale videos for flute, which I could do those. That's a great idea. But I don't have any. I don't know how applicable they would be to Indian bamboo flute because it's different fingerings. So my flute videos would not help you much on that. But if you have the type of flute here that we play in Western music, which is a standard flute for playing classical music, jazz music, Western, what we call Western music, I can do those videos for you. Okay. Good job, everyone. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. Make sure you say thank you to our helpers in the chat, Teresa and Joseph. And as I finish off today's show, okay. You're asking for sax. Oh, okay. So you would look for scales. I have a couple of saxophone scales on my channel. Just do alto sax scale. Just search for it on my channel. I think I have like a couple on there. And those are more videos that I probably could add as well. So that's a great reminder for me. And Leonardo. Okay, minor scales. Minor scales are great. So folks, please say thank you. And if you haven't already, say thank you to Joseph and Teresa helping us out in the chat. And if you could like this video, that would be awesome. And then when I finish, you're going to see this screen right here. Wait, hold on. I got this. You're going to see that screen, okay? And that's how you can follow me on social media and send me emails and messages. So thanks again to everyone for being here. Please come back next week. I will be back next week on our normal schedule, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, everybody, have a great week. And don't forget to practice and bring your questions and your requests next week. Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.